welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Bajo.
And I'm Hex.
And I am Darren.
Coming up on the show, something for the Wii U with NES Remix 2. It's Nintendo nostalgia time.
Mamma mia!
Plus, we'll be going on the wondrous journey of Leo's fortune.
This is not good.
Goose and I will be reviewing something too.
Oh, are you going to tell us what, Darren?
Objection!
Okay, hoity-toity.
Oh no, Hex, I think that's a hint.
Affirmative. But first, let's warm up those brain stems because it's time for Darren's challenge! This week I'm asking you this. What are the 3 starter Pokemon in X and Y? Answer at the end of the show.
Oh, good challenge, Darren. But now how about we go to the news desk with Goose?
Yes.
Affirmative.
Thanks, guys. Goose here with all the Spawn Point news. One of IBM's supercomputers has given a demo of its ability to take complex issues and argue for the pros and cons. Known as the Debater, it's able to rapidly scan through the internet and take relevant information from various sources to present the most relevant arguments.
Video game play is part of an adolescent boy's normal social setting. Would you like to discuss another topic?
Now we go from large supercomputers down to some very tiny robots. These little guys move and work in precise unison through magnets, in a system called diamagnetic micromanipulation, or D3 for short. The aim is that potentially thousands of these robots could one day work together to help build large-scale products. And that's all the Spawn Point news. Now, off to hair and makeup for a little something I've got planned for Darren.
Thanks, Goose. Okay, guys, well, it's only been a few months since we looked at the last NES remix, but the old school is back in session with NES Remix 2.
NES Remix 2 is another mashup of classic Nintendo games from the 80s. But unlike most retro collections that have you replaying the entire originals, this is all about rapid-fire challenges.
Affirmative. The challenges rework the original gameplay to give you a specific goal that must be completed within a tight time limit. Take Super Mario Bros. 3, for example. Instead of just completing the levels, you'll be focusing on jumping on enemies and collecting coins.
And there are other Mario games as well, including both versions of Super Mario Bros. 2.
Actually, the version of Mario Bros. 2 that was released here in Australia was one of the weirdest Mario Bros. Games ever, but it was also great fun.
There's actually a much better variety of games this time around. It was so nice to see the original Kid Icarus game, and I loved playing through Link's 2D levels in Zelda 2.
Yes, we don't see much of the 2D Zelda anymore, but those animations are just so iconic. And you can still see the influences in Smash Bros. Games today. But what about those annoying dungeon challenges? Pick the wrong direction to walk in, and it's instant fail. Oh, so frustrating.
Well, my favourite was Punch Out. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, jab, jab, uppercut, uppercut, punching.
As well as the mini challenges, there are also the remixed bits which mash 2 games together. Like this one where Kirby is fighting his regular boss while the ghosts from Mario try to get him.
You know, I'd forgotten what a tough competitor Kirby can be. Don't be put off by his fluffy pink exterior. He is lethal. He freezes enemies solid and knocks others out with boxing gloves.
And don't forget he's got the best weapon ever, lasers! Charging lasers, exterminate, exterminate!
Darren is quite the fan of lasers.
Oh, I know. Overall, guys, I love this game even better than the last NES remix. There's just so many awesome blasts from the past. And even Super Mario Bros. Felt fresh when I was doing crazy things like being cloned while playing as a silhouette.
Yeah, I think it's a definite improvement, and mostly because it has more of my favourite games in it. I think the only dud was Super Luigi Bros., where, wait for it, you play through the original Mario game as Luigi instead of Mario. And the levels are mirrored, so you run to the left. Not very inventive.
Yeah, but I think that was just an added bonus, so it doesn't worry me too much. Overall, I thought this game was a big step forward, so I'm giving it 8.5.
I'm giving it 7.5.
Okay, Hex, if you'd please pass me that top hat beneath your chair, I'll be off to my review with Goose.
I see.
Yes,
Up to you, Darren.
Just get that in.
Oh,
Very dashing.
I look wonderful. Off to the
Darren.
review.
I think I know what he's going to review.
What?
I don't know, I lied.
Alright Darren, it's time for everyone's favourite puzzle-solving archaeologist to meet up with that ever-loyal blue-suited lawyer in Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney on 3DS. Professor, your opening statements if you'd be so kind.
Oh, affirmative. After meeting a rather peculiar girl, Espella, in London, our two heroes, along with their sidekicks Luke and Maya, are magically transported into the mysterious medieval world of Labyrinthia, where there are witches and knights. There's also the storyteller, a shadowy figure who writes down the story for Labyrinthia that always comes true.
And that must be this town's creator.
Yes, the plot is much darker than we've seen in the Layton games before, so the stakes are pretty high. But like both series, there's plenty of big mysteries and plot twists to keep you involved throughout the game.
The answer is out there, Goose. We just need to find it. Once you're in Labyrinthia...
Oh, objection! Your Honour, we can't talk any more about the story, Darren, without risking spoiling it.
I have to agree with the defence here. The gameplay consists of what we've seen in previous Layton and Ace Attorney games, and they actually work quite well together. About half the game is spent exploring various locations, talking to people for clues and solving puzzles, and the other half takes place in the courtroom, where you must defend your client by pressing witnesses for more information and presenting evidence that contradicts their statements.
Oh, objection!
I'm not a desk, Goose.
Sorry, Darren, but you did state that the gameplay is what we've seen in previous games. However, they have introduced some new elements. Like how courtroom cross-examinations can now take place with more than one witness on the stand, and you can question other witnesses if it seems like they're not at ease with someone else's statement. Therefore, it's not exactly the same as the previous game. Witness, tell us the truth.
Calm down, Goose. I was merely stating that both gameplay types blend well together. And as this is a world of magic, there's also a book of magic spells called the Grand Grimoire, which you can use in court as a form of evidence. Oh, also, I rather enjoyed seeing our heroes swapping roles throughout the game, like when Maya and Phoenix were the ones solving the puzzles and Layton was at the court bench.
Oh, affirmative, Darren. Didn't you just burn a circuit the first time that Professor Layton yelled out, "Objection!"
Objection.
Affirmative. Layton and Phoenix make a wonderful team.
I actually liked it when Luke and Maya teamed up for a bit, and the game as a whole has been streamlined from previous Layton and Ace Attorney games. Each location now shows how many hint coins are around, so you're not searching each location endlessly. And you can now use hint coins in the court for when you get stuck, as well as in the puzzles. Take that!
Plus, there aren't any collectible items scattered at each location, nor are there any ongoing puzzles to collect parts or pieces for, so you're much less distracted from the main story.
Oh, objection! I actually missed those puzzles, Darren, but I did like the way that the court cases now rely less on pages of evidence and more on the cross-examinations. How did you find the difficulty, Professor Darren?
I found it a bit easier than previous games. I got through all the puzzles without using a single hint coin. Every puzzle has a solution.
Oh, objection, Darren, that's not fair. You're a robot with a supercomputer.
Remember, Goose, a true gentleman never makes a scene in the good game office. The cutscenes were rather stunning though, weren't they?
Well, yes, they're all animated beautifully. And all the in-game character movements and locations have been crafted with such attention to detail. But some of the problems from the previous games are back as well. Sometimes in the courtroom, you'll know what the contradiction is, but it's not always obvious which piece of evidence to present or which statement to present it to, which can be a bit frustrating.
Affirmative. And it's worth noting that this game contains a lot of text and requires a lot of reading, so it might not be suitable for younger spawnlings.
They have voiced a lot more of the dialogue in this game, but I would have loved to see more voice work overall.
I know where that ship was heading. Let's head to the port and meet Espella when she arrives.
Final thoughts, Professor?
Whilst the writing is still as witty and sharp as ever, it didn't feel like this game exceeded what we've come to expect from the Ace Attorney and Layton games. It is ultimately more of the same. 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Oh, objection! Darren, I think I enjoyed this just a little bit more than you, so I'm giving it an 8.
I hold you in contempt.
Objection!
Overruled.
Objection!
Overruled.
And can I request a short recess and cheese toasties?
Court is adjourned.
Yes.
I'll warm up the oven.
All right, Bajo, let's get straight into it. And first up, we've got this one from It's Not Important, who is under Bajo's bed.
I was wondering what that scratching noise was.
Hi, GGSP. I was wondering if you've reviewed Planet's Cube. Bajo, you're awesome. Hex, you're cool. And well, Darren, I don't know how to explain this, but you're pure noob. There we go, I said it. P.S. Cameraman, do these.
Well, no, we haven't reviewed Planets Cubed because it's not out yet. In fact, it has only just started full development.
Yeah, it only recently successfully finished its crowdfunding campaign. And for those of you wondering what crowdfunding is, it's basically when someone puts up an idea on the internet and says they need a certain amount of money to make it happen.
That's right, Hex. Then if it's a good idea, people around the world chip in as much money as they want to. Most people just give a few dollars, but some give hundreds or even thousands of dollars.
And Planets Cubed needed to raise over $250,000, which it actually did quite comfortably.
And from what the developers have said, they plan to release the first playable version of the game towards the end of the year. But the full final game isn't expected until 2017.
Oh, that's ages away.
Oh, so far away. I'll be like 1,000,000 years old by then.
Well, you might want to check your math there, Badge. I don't think you'll be 1,000,000, really. But now on to this one from Janez, who is in Canberra, the ACT.
Why does not make an second Minecraft game? Because I am a big fan of it. P.S. Darren is awesome and should work at a game-making studio. That's a terrible idea, Hex. Darren would just make games about lasering people.
Yeah, it'd just be like Noob Laser Games 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11.
Yeah. Or Noob Simulator, where you play Darren and you're a big noob. Actually, that'd be quite fun.
Don't tell her.
No.
It's our idea. Okay, well, Janez, my guess is that there isn't a Minecraft 2 because at the moment the developers are still focused on adding in new features and improving the current Minecraft.
And no doubt they've been busy making new versions for the PS4 and Xbox One.
But we have heard some of the developers say that they probably will make a Minecraft 2 one day.
Yes, but the current version of Minecraft is still very popular, so who knows when that will be, Hex. Oh, what's that noise? Oh, it's horrible.
Badger, I think we're getting a fax.
Fax? What's a fax?
It's kind of like email, but it prints directly out onto paper. It's a little bit ancient.
Seems like such a waste of time. Hang on, it's coming through.
What's it say?
It's from Darren. Ah! Hello, Barjo speaking.
Hello, Barjo. Did you get my fax?
Yeah, why are you faxing us?
I'm bringing it back, baby. Read it.
Okay, so, Retro Darren, it says, Minecraft is currently the third best-selling game of all time, and is only behind Tetris and Wii Sports. However, those games came bundled with the Game Boy and Wii consoles respectively, so their sales numbers are reflective more of the consoles than the game. This makes Minecraft the best-selling game to have never been bundled with a console.
Well, thank you very much, Darren, for that information. If you could please just scan it and email it to me next time, that'll be easier than a fax from... when the fax? From the 1800s?
No promises, Barjo.
From the 17 dinosaurs probably faxed.
All right, well, let's move on to this one from the dude that likes Marvel, who smells like cheese, dude, in PlayStation headquarters, New South Wales.
Hey, Darren, a Triceratops called. They've got their fax machine back because it needs to go in for a service.
They're not that old.
Gonna run out of warranty.
Hello, Hex and Barjo. I was wondering if you knew any about Disney Infinity 2.0 and Skylanders Trap Team. And what games would a nearly 11-year-old like on a PS4? And Barjo, please do these. P.S. I want a PS4.
Well, geez, dude, we know a few things about them now. So, Disney Infinity 2.0 seems like it's going to focus mostly on Marvel characters. At the moment, they've only shown off the Avengers figurines, but no doubt there'll be plenty of more characters. No Batman, though.
They're also making some cool changes to the toy box with more predefined games to make game creation easier. And they'll even let you put in these little builders who will run around and actually help you build the levels.
As for Trap Team, well, its main new feature is, of course, traps. It seems like that pesky Chaos has released a load of villains out into the world and you have to try and trap them in little trappy toy things.
Yes, and both of them are coming out, I think, towards the end of the year.
Indeed. As for PS4 games you might like, well, there's quite a few actually. There's Octodad, Fez, SteamWorld Dig, Trials Fusion, Rayman Legends, and Lego Marvel, just to name a few.
Right, well, let's move on to this one now from the King of Gaming, who is in Melbourne, Victoria.
The King of Gaming is visiting Melbourne, Victoria, Hex.
And do you have some kind of special bow for the King of Gaming? You
Yeah.
usually do for the Royals.
As if you don't know the bow for... Do you not know it?
I don't,
Let me demonstrate.
Very slow and reverent.
This is my fifth or fourth time I'm asking you this. Is there a Rise of the Guardians game? And if there's Minecraft on the Wii, P.S. Barjo is epic, Hex is good, and Darren is don't a noob, everyone is jealous because he is a robot.
Well, Your Highness of Gaming, there is indeed a Rise of the Guardians game. It's on pretty much all of the last-gen consoles. We haven't played it, but from what we've heard, it's a pretty average game, actually.
Yes, and sadly, no, there is no Minecraft on the Wii, and as far as we're aware, there is no plan to make a Wii version at any point in the future. Notch has also said it's very unlikely they'll make a Wii U version either, since they're too busy making all the other versions.
Alright, well, moving on to this one from Arez, who is on top of you like a spider. Is there any spiders in my head?
They're about 37.
No.
Yeah, they got a little family up there, they're starting a little civilization.
In Victoria. Okay, how do you get free gems on Clash of Clans? That was number 1. 2, do you get mods on Minecraft? It's annoying that on YouTube it says the mod download but won't work. P.S. Hex, say these. Oh, lol. P.P.S. I typed that like a boss.
Well, Arez, there are 3 ways you can get free gems. Firstly, just remove trees and rocks from around your base. They usually have a few gems hidden in them, and sometimes you'll even find gem boxes lying around.
Secondly, you can also earn quite a few by completing challenges. I've almost completed a challenge that will let me get 450 free gems. Not too shabby, eh, Bajo?
Whoa, not too shabby at all. The third way is much harder, and only the best players have a chance of doing it. So if you are one of the top 10 players in one of the top 3 clans, you can get a hefty amount of gems after each clan tournament ends. The top players in the top clan each get 2,000 gems.
Whoa. All right, well, let's move on to this one from Eat Pie. It's good for you, who is in Pallet Town, South Australia.
Nice motto to live by, Hex. What's your favourite kind of pie?
Oh, I like the chicken ones with like the Thai spices.
Right. That sounds delicious.
It is delicious.
Dear Good Game, what is the difference between a bug and a glitch in a game? Also, make these noises. 7. Catching money.
It sounds a bit like a Darren question to me, Bajo.
Indeed it does, Hex. Let me get him on the phone. Sorry, calling. Hi, Darren. Hey, Darren, so what's the difference between a bug and a glitch?
Well, those terms are often used interchangeably, but there is an arguable difference. A bug refers to a specific, repeatable issue caused by a problem with the game's code. Pokemon X and Y, for example, had a nasty bug which could corrupt players' save files if they saved in a specific part of the game. Glitches, however, usually refer to a random error, which are often related to a hardware problem. So if parts of a computer or console fail or overheat, it can start displaying graphical glitches.
So bugs are a problem with the software and glitches are a problem with the hardware?
Generally speaking, however, as I said, the terms are often used interchangeably and can refer to the same thing. You could even say that a glitch is simply the result of a bug. Also, many players refer to the practice of glitching to refer to ways they can intentionally break or manipulate a game's code in order to gain unfair advantages. I just call that being an unscrupulous, cheating noob, though.
Oh, thanks for that, Darren. Hey, Darren, when you're being a massive noob, is that when you're glitching?
It's funny you should mention that. One time I flew too close to the sun, and it caused a bit of a memory leak there. That was the time I forgot your birthday.
Okay, well, I think we've got one more question.
What's the noise?
I'm getting another fax.
Oh, another fax! Oh, Darren, first he forgets my birthday, and then he
So noisy.
faxes. Oh, it's Bishop of Kerry O'Brien.
Oh, it's lovely.
Hi, Kerry.
You could hang that in your office.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've got time for one more question, I think. So let's go with this one from Chris, who is in Melbourne. Hi, GGSP. I was just wondering, do you think the PC account for War Thunder will ever be able to be used on a PS4? Thanks.
Well, Chris, the good news is that, yes, we've heard they are aiming to let people use just one War Thunder account across both PS4 and PC.
And in fact, it sounds like they've already made the patch, which will enable PC and PS4 players to play against each other. From the sounds of it, that would synchronize both games, which I assume would mean you'd only need the one account.
Indeed, but sadly that patch hasn't been rolled out yet because there's a bit of an issue with the way Sony requires games to update on the PS4. Apparently it would stop them from being able to update the game properly. So the ball's in Sony's court for now, and hopefully they'll fix that up and get it all working soon.
Okay, well, I think that's all the time we have for this week, and don't forget to keep sending in your awesome questions right here. All right, Bajo, back to the studio.
Back to the studio, Hex.
Don't forget Kerry.
Oh, so many questions, Hex.
I know, and our answers are pretty good too.
Absolutely. Now it's time for Leo to get his gold back in Leo's fortune.
Oui, oui.
Okay.
What is this mysterious contraption?
Leo's Fortune is a mobile adventure platformer where you play the fuzzy French mustached Leopold, or Leo to his friends. Someone has stolen his gold and it's your job to find out the truth behind his missing fortune.
That's right, Hex, and he's pretty adorable, isn't he? So majestic.
Yeah, where did you get that mustache?
What, this moustache? I just grew it. It's 100% natural.
Well, I think it makes you look more sophisticated, Bajo. And more French.
Oh, why, thank you, Darren. Hey, we could be the new Mario Brothers, and we could have levels set in French Perth.
Engaging moustache mode.
Guys, this is a bit weird.
Just roll with it, Hex. Just roll with it. The game is full of plenty of puzzle-packed levels and a good mix of locations.
Affirmative, Bajo. There are some stylish landscapes to traverse, including forests, towns, underwater locations, deserts, and snowy mountains.
And such nice variety, Darren. I mean, the first thing that struck me about this game were the visuals. It's just beautiful. Scenic environments cover the horizon, and the delightfully designed buildings are so inviting, not to mention the charming animations.
The art style in this game is brilliant. It is just so beautiful, especially for a mobile game, and the controls are fairly simple. You swipe the left side of the screen to move, and the right side to jump and dive. I love how Leo's body puffs up every time he jumps.
Me too, and that surprised look he gets in his face when he inflates. The fluid controls really come in handy for the well-designed platforming in this game as well. Leo slides, jumps, and floats around collecting his gold throughout the levels, all while navigating the harsh obstacles.
Ah, yes, there are so many different dangers.
Affirmative. There's a plethora of perils. You'll be up against falling objects, wind, spikes, saws, and lava.
I was disappointed at how repetitive the obstacles got in later levels.
Yeah, and I also noticed they'd often repeat the pattern of obstacles as well. Like this part where you're dodging circular saws over and over.
Yeah, that was a bit frustrating, wasn't it? Although I did enjoy the maneuvering puzzles. There's lots of switches, levers, and moving platforms to interact with. And all of your movements have to be performed with precise patience and timing.
Affirmative. There is quite a level of skill involved to navigate these puzzles, and a poorly timed jump easily sends Leo to his death.
Whoa, formidable beard, Hex!
Oh.
And those deaths will decide how many stars you score on each level, so it's quite difficult to get those 3-star ratings. But we should wrap this up, Bajo. What are you giving it?
Well, Hex, like we've said, it is a beautiful game, and it also has a lovely soundtrack, so I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
It was a little on the short side for me, but I do love the look of it, and I loved helping Leo collect his gold, so I'm going to give it 8 out of 10.
Beard's just coming off a bit there, Hex. Just
It's fine.
yeah. You look great, though.
Oh, it looks fine.
And that's the end of another show for this week. But Darren, the Spawnlings eagerly await the answer to your challenge.
Affirmative, Bajo. I asked you earlier what are the 3 starter Pokemon in X and Y, and they are Froakie, Chespin, and Fennekin.
Ah, yes, of course. You know, after collecting so many of those things, it's hard to think back to what was at the beginning of the game.
Indeed, Froakie all the way. Next week on the show, we fire up our lasers for Project Root.
Oh, pew pew pew, pew pew, pew pew pew. And I'll be celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Nintendo Game Boy.
Oh, what a fabulous little console. So many memories.
Guys, that was the system that launched Pokemon. I can't wait for that one. Until next time, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out.
Guys, I already missed my mustache.
Are you going to try and grow one?
No, I could just make one with my hair like this. Look.
Oh, nice.
That's very convincing, Hex.
Yeah, keeps my face warm.